Body slam.
That's John Cena. Not our intro.
No, we don't have an intro yet.
Or we might do. I might go back in time and overlay it. Time travel standard.
Let's not talk about our intro then.
It's like a news program, isn't it? This is it. PODYSLAM. Woo! We're going to discuss some WWE pay-per-views.
Yes.
Yeah. Was this a pay-per-view though?
I mean,
I paid for it.
yeah, you did.
I paid good money for this.
$9.99.
Yeah, £9.99.
Yeah, not $9.99.
Nope.
Those Yanks get this way cheaper.
Yeah, I know they do actually, because I think if you convert it, it's actually like £6 or something like that.
I know. Anyway.
Yeah, so we're getting gypped. Anyway, this was Beast in the East.
I know. I like that they called it that.
Yeah.
Although the Beast did not feature much, really. Although he never does, really, does he?
No, I thought that was going to be the main event.
He's a briefy beastie.
Yeah, I know, he's a briefy beastie. Yeah. Swoops in and is all beast-like.
Yes.
Not to be confused with the Beast from the East, which was the name of someone called Bam Bam Bigelow.
Should we intro ourselves in something?
Yeah, I'm Lee, and this is PODYSLAM, and who are you?
I'm J-Bo.
Cool. Didn't ask for your life story.
We like wrestling.
Yeah, we really do.
So we're going to talk about it a bit.
Yeah, we're going to discuss some WWE pay-per-views. So yeah, this was a cool one, wasn't it?
I really liked this one.
Yeah?
I think this is one of my favourite. Just a bit of background. I'm fairly new to wrestling.
10 years? 12 years? What's your credentials? Can you name all the Japanese champions?
It took Lee a while, but he finally got me into it.
Yeah, one big
Now
headlock.
I actually really like it. It's annoying. I don't even have to just pretend to make you happy.
I know.
I actually like it.
I think watching Total Divas helped a little bit, didn't it?
Watching Total Divas really helped.
Yeah, which
and
I still
I
hate.
don't know, it'd be interesting to know if out there any boys have got their girlfriends by
Force.
not by force,
Brutal
but
force.
by the power that is a bit of gossip, essentially.
I know.
Because Total Divas, although we're not going to talk about that, because it is now a bit annoying. It's become formulaic, like all those shows eventually do.
It's really fake.
Yeah, but in the beginning, it felt more natural.
Yeah.
It really did, and I think the reason you liked snippets of it is because every now and again they'd be in John Cena and Nikki Bella's house, and it'd be like, oh my god, it's John Cena.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
He's just getting ready for the day,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's what got me into it. So it'd be good. I don't know. Are there any other guys that whose girlfriends didn't like wrestling before, and suddenly they're like, oh, I like that Eva Marie.
Yeah, or the other way around. Maybe girls who've got their boyfriends into wrestling.
What, via the form of Total Divas?
Maybe.
That
Who
would
knows?
be very interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, let us know.
Yeah. So. Dong.
Anyway, so I have been, I guess, an avid wrestling fan for a year and a half.
Possibly
maybe
about
2
that.
years.
Yeah.
So this, I think, so far is potentially up there with one of my favourite pay-per-views, if we're calling it that.
Fair enough.
We'll call it a pay-per-view just for argument's sake,
okay.
although obviously it's debatable.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, I think it's one of my faves. I would say it was good, because it was nice. It was just because it was so different.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's so much Raw is every week, and then SmackDown, and then there've obviously been a lot of pay-per-views recently, and
Too many, perhaps.
They all follow that same formula, obviously, because it works for them, and it is cool.
Yeah.
Except this one was just so different. The crowd were different. There were no promos. There was no talking. It was just about the wrestling.
Did you like that though? Because normally you like. Oh, when we
I
watch
like the
Raw,
storylines.
We like the chat and the promos and the backstage stuff, which makes up about half the show sometimes. And with this, it was just match.
There was something about the way the Japanese fans react that made it really cool.
Love the Japanese fans.
Yeah, really
absolutely love the Japanese fans. I love how they sit there politely watching the match. They're not sort of
I love the applause.
yeah, they clap when they see good things, and they're not sort of jeering, or they're not boring or anything like that. They just sit there politely, and I think they appreciate it on a whole other level.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's fun. What we've got to remember is it's fun because it's a one-off. So if suddenly you were seeing every show like that in Japan, then we'd be complaining in the same way we complain
Oh yeah,
about...
cool. We'll always complain about something.
Exactly. So that's, I don't know, that's why it's kind of cool, because it's different.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's oh my God, this is
I love the noise they make of whoa, when you see something good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they were a lot louder than I thought they were going to be, actually. I thought they were going to be, kind of sitting on their hands
stoic.
a bit. Yeah, a bit stoic. What does stoic mean?
You know,
Quiet.
yeah, and...
We'll have to Google that one.
Stoic.
Stoic. So yeah, so I love the layout of the whole ring. It really felt like a live show. You know, it wasn't like
nice.
over glossy.
Yeah,
it wasn't like
small.
They had the basic railings and everything. It all felt a bit underproduced. You know,
I liked that.
which is nice. There wasn't the big Titantron and there wasn't all the lights and spectacle that we're used to.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah, it's a bit stripped back and bare.
Yeah, it was cool.
Which is nice. And it felt like a smaller show, which is awesome. And then when Jericho hit the ring.
Yeah. So, so this is a surprise to me. So like, obviously, seeing as I've only really like been into wrestling for a couple of years, Jericho is someone I obviously know of. He's like huge, except he's within like being a regular. Like he's never been in as a regular in the roster since I've started watching it.
Right. Yeah.
So the fact that he is massive in Japan was just like, how does that happen? How does it happen that some wrestlers are big in certain countries?
I guess they just like ply their trade in another country and get really big there in the same way that some bands are really big in other countries but not in other ones. Some wrestlers just really hit the big time in another country and not in... But he's big in America as well. He's big everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just that he was in Japan for ages.
Look, the majority of the crowd were either there for Jericho with their Y2K... Y2J, sorry, signs.
They're just really fans of the year 2000.
I love the year 2000.
Y2K, I'm living in the past.
With their Y2J signs. Or, obviously, as always, there's a lot of Cena fans in the audience.
So many Cena fans. I thought it was like the merchandise stand because everyone was wearing a John Cena t-shirt.
But you wouldn't, it's rare that you go... Maybe he's Canadian, right?
Who? Jericho? Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe in Canada, you'd see a lot of the...
Yeah,
a lot of the Jericho signs, but you know, like it would be. You'd see a few, but you wouldn't. It wouldn't be like all of them.
There was a sea of Jericho.
Yeah, like
fans.
so. It really was like, wow, we're in like Jericho land.
Yeah, it was fantastic to see that sort of reaction.
I loved it, and
cool.
I don't know why. Like I felt like so happy for him.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, he's gonna love this.
Yeah,
you know?
It must be like going back home for him to have he was like the John Cena. You know, he got that sort of reaction. It was like, whoa, we're seeing a big star here to kick off the show. And for him, it must have been a bit emotional.
He's got a cool jacket.
He always rocks a cool jacket, Chris Jericho. That's probably the best thing about him.
Looking a little bit on the podgy side, I thought.
Are you calling him fat?
No, not fat.
You're saying he's been eating too many cakes.
I'm just saying he's not regular anymore. He's obviously not going to work out as much as he used to.
No, I guess so. Well, the thing is, like, Jericho used to be, like, much leaner and he was a bit more athletic, I guess. And then he went through a stage in WWE where he actually got really fat.
It's difficult because they put him up against Neville. Yeah. And Neville is lean as.
He's got one of the best physiques.
It's not ideal to be stood next to, because if, for example, any normal average bloke stood next to Jericho would probably look so flabby. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like he probably is actually like quite like buff looking.
Oh yeah.
It's just next to the leanness that is.
Yeah. Neville looks fantastic. He's awesome.
Yeah.
But I doubt Jericho
Gravity forgot fat as far as Neville's concerned.
Jericho forgot about carbs. But I doubt Jericho cares. Like he doesn't wrestle anymore.
He loves those noodles.
He does love the noodles. Well, there's loads of those in Japan. I bet exactly. Do you reckon they all like went to all the noodles and sushi bars? Imagine those huge Americans towering over the little Japanese people in there.
Yeah,
they definitely must have been so funny.
It must have been so funny.
Brock Lesnar just going into a sushi bar and ordering loads of sake.
Yeah, I expect he got a lot of attention.
Yeah, I bet he did. But like, I doubt Jericho really cares that he looks a little bit chubby because he's Chris Jericho and he's awesome. And it's so nice to see him. He's such a big, awesome character. Like, you really feel connected to him. Yeah. We know about him. He's like our friend coming in the ring. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, I think because he does the podcast, he's kind of like become this kind of, I don't know, voice of reason in some respect. Like the way, because he does manage, when he chats to people on his podcast, you do feel like you get a real sense of what they're about and what they're... And so there's something nice about him that feels like quite level and grounded. And like he feels like the WWE, like some of the other guys within there, you feel like they're on the roster and they're doing their thing, but he is it. Yeah. It's kind of nice.
Someone you trust.
Yes, that's potentially the point.
And I guess that's why everyone loves him. When we love seeing him, we don't see him very often, but when we do see him, it's always wicked. You always have a great match when Jericho's there. So, what do you think about Neville?
I love Neville.
This was a great match. Yeah, this was so fun. I loved it. It was a really good match. What a great way to kick off the show.
You had said which is something I noticed less, that the style of wrestling was a little bit different. So there was more time spent on like building different moves up and more holds maybe, like throughout the whole event, not just in that one.
It was a steadier match, so it was sort of like it didn't have.
I definitely noticed less tricks from Neville.
Yeah.
Or at least there was more. Maybe it's like you say that it was steadier, so there were more gaps in between.
It just had a nicer, steady level pace, which was cool. It was an opener, so it still had your big spots. You still have to wow the crowd on an opener.
Yeah.
You have to get them into it. But I feel like it was a bit more level, steady, and paced, which was brilliant. And then it was the Japanese crowd loved it, I thought.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
good,
really cool.
Really good opener. I thought. Really,
awesome moves from Jericho, seeing him do the lion salt. Mm-hmm. Wasn't sure if he was going to bust that one out, but he did. Mm-hmm. And some wicked stuff from Neville. Especially with Jericho getting the knees up on that Red Arrow.
Yeah.
Oh, some painful moments. Mm-hmm. But I just love seeing Neville every single time he's in the ring. It's just awesome.
He's cool. I just don't know where... I don't know. Like, I feel like... Because from a wrestling stance, he's awesome. He's got he reacts well. He moves around the ring well. He's obviously got his own niche, which is the whole flippy, mental...
The whole flippy stuff.
Gravity thing.
Yeah.
I hope that somewhere backstage they're teaching him how to be an awesome character as well.
Yeah, I think he's getting a bit better on the microphone and stuff. Although
I guess he doesn't get that much opportunity, really. But
yeah, I find it hard to understand him when he talks. A little bit hard.
Newcastle.
Yeah, I can't really hear him.
I doubt the Americans can understand him.
No, probably not. But he doesn't need to talk much, I guess, to get over.
No, I mean I just don't. He's an awesome. Dare I say filler? Like he's never gonna hold a belt, is he?
Yeah, I guess I just wonder if he's going to have that curse of like Dolph Ziggler where he's really good, or Kofi Kingston where he does all the cool flippy stuff but then always looks a bit vulnerable and you never really believe that he's going to be a sturdy champion. So I guess I see him going that way, but who knows?
Let's see.
Yeah, so this was a wicked match.
Space.
I loved the finish. I loved how Neville tried to hit that move. Jericho got his knees up and he hit the Walls of Jericho submission finish. Loved it.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Although I have to say, it was awesome. I loved it. Never that keen on a submission finish.
No, but the Japanese fans they're big on submissions over there.
Yes.
Yeah, so a lot of the matches were ended in submission. Yes, just awesome. Really cool. So I'm glad they ended that on a submission. And it's nice to see Jericho win, I guess. I don't see, there's no harm in that.
No, yeah. I don't think it mattered who... Well, actually...
No, not really. As long as they have a good match, they both end up looking great.
Well, no, the reason it mattered, I guess, was for the fans, for the Japanese fans.
Yeah.
And they're obviously big Jericho fans, so it makes a big difference to your viewing enjoyment. The person you're rooting for wins, so it was cool for them.
Yeah, exactly.
But it made no difference to us, really, I guess.
No, not really. As long as we saw a good match, which we did.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. First match. Big thumbs up. That was great.
Yeah.
Then we went on to a three-way women's match. Dun, 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 dun. Paige comes out to quite a good reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was her house.
It was her house. She has a lot of houses.
She's got a lot of houses.
It seems like she must have a summer house, a winter house.
She's got all the houses.
Obviously, she's got this house in Japan, which I actually thought was a famous sumo hall in Tokyo. But it turns out it's actually Paige's house.
It's her house.
Yeah, so we're coming live from Paige's house.
She must be quite handy with a drill.
She's very welcoming because obviously she has all these events in her house. And because she welcomed Tamina and then Nikki into the ring.
Nikki Bella.
What did you think of this three-way match for the coveted Divas? Don't laugh, because Nikki has held this belt now for 1,932 million months.
Nearly as long as her boo-boo.
Beep. All right.
You've got a theory about this. Do you want to go?
Oh, well, they're obviously trying to give her the title for as long as possible so that she is the longest running diva over AJ Lee, who will be one of those people that they don't mention anymore because she's not in it anymore.
No. And also, do you think that the thing with AJ Lee is also because of her link to CM Punk?
I don't know. No idea.
Seems a bit cold.
Yeah, I don't think it's
all
that.
those wrestlers that are now in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that some of them left because ice in a cup.
I'm urinating.
Great background noise here. I'm assuming some of them left in the same way that AJ Lee will have, just because they'd had enough or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're still considered, Hall of Fame worthy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she is considered Hall of Fame worthy, but I'm saying sure it's kind of weird to just not mention it.
Yeah, I know. I feel like they just want someone on the current roster to be like, oh, they're the longest running Divas champion. And I just wish it would have been Paige.
And there was a lot of chat from the commentators about how long she's held the title and will she be the longest running. So that's clearly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Which is fine, I guess, but it just means it's annoying because I feel like if that is the case and we have figured it out, then essentially we know not that the Divas matches aren't thoroughly entertaining.
Well,
but we know the result now as well.
Yeah, we know that Nikki's going to constantly.
What did you think about it being second on the?
Yeah, I mean, it's not your normal pay-per-view setup, so anything really goes in this environment. It's more like a house show. You know, there are only 5 matches on this whole card.
Yeah, that's
Although
true.
I think we missed some because there was a couple of dark matches maybe. I think New Day were fighting in a dark match. I don't understand why there would be a dark match
Also,
in this type of event.
Cesaro was meant to be there as well.
Cesaro, I think, was meant to be fighting Diego from Los Matadores, which is
Strange.
so random. I feel like they just literally pulled a name out of a hat.
Yeah.
I don't even know whether that match happened or not.
Right.
So I don't understand why that wasn't on the show because I don't see why there was a 2-hour limitation to this. I don't see why it couldn't have been a 3-hour show.
No, maybe there were some rules about how long they're allowed to have a show in the hall or something.
I know, I doubt it because the show was that long. It's going on. It's going on the network. It's their rules. But I've got to say, this is one of the few Divas matches that hasn't made me just want to go and do a wee 5 minutes into it. Normally, I'm like, Divas match, right? I'm going to go and urinate. And this didn't make me want to pull my hair out or anything. I wasn't really complaining about much. Dare I say it? Nikki Bella,
she's getting better.
Isn't entirely rubbish anymore.
No, she's not.
I can't believe I'm saying that.
I can't believe you're saying that.
That's ridiculous that I just said that. I take it back.
She's got too much hair.
So much hair.
It's really annoying.
Yeah, I know.
Too much hair.
They've all got too much hair, really.
Yeah, but for some reason, she's got way too much hair.
Shave some of their heads.
Paige is great. Really like Paige, not just because she's English.
Yeah.
She's cool. She's obviously she grew up as a wrestler. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's talking about. She sells it well. She moves well. Like her a lot. Tamina is also cool. And the main reason I like her is just because she doesn't look like an absolute slut bag.
Yeah, it's good to get someone butch in there.
Definitely.
A butch woman.
Yeah. Nikki is always going to be a hard sell to me as a woman because she is very much about the makeup and the boobs and the tiny, tiny shorts.
You're calling her a slut?
She comes out and grinds her
fanny.
Grinds her fanny around, and it's just a little bit hard to take. You know, it's like, who are you? The reason it's such a hard sell for me is because it's like, who's it for? It's not. Is it for the male fans to salivate over her, or is it for her to? It is. So I think that's why that's obviously why it's a hard sell for me. Not even from a jealousy point of view, because I can look at her and be like, yeah, cool, you're hot, but I want to see a good match. That's why I'm watching wrestling.
Yeah, and obviously there's a lot of Japanese women wrestlers who are really good, really good.
Exactly. So I don't know. It was a good match though. I like it. Obviously, Nikki kept the belt because that's what they want.
She's gonna keep. Imagine if she just didn't. She just dropped the belt, and this theory doesn't actually hold any grounds at all.
That'd be all right.
Yeah. It was a pretty good match. I've got nothing really to complain about. Normally they just do some terrible...
I just wish I don't want there to be much more time spent on Divas than is already, to be honest.
So do you think they shouldn't have had a Divas match on this then? Do you think it should have just been 5 men's matches?
No, okay, so this is the thing. I think if there was some more
S'mores
storyline involved in the Divas, something that actually matters, because the problem is they'll put in some kind of storyline and then the next week they'll completely ignore everything that's happened and just do something else.
Yeah, is Nikki heel or face now?
I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah,
I think she's still heel.
I think she's face.
Heel. No, she's heel
I think
because
she's face.
She's trying to turn all the other divas against Paige. Is that not right?
Is Paige face or is Paige heel?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what? I don't care.
No.
I literally don't care. It was great to see Tamina Snuka in a match. She's not great, but it's just good. In a 3-way, I think you need one who's a bit more of
she did the...
Splash, the Snuka splash, yeah.
That was nice.
I'm sure Jimmy was very proud. All right, so Nikki won. Whatever. Next match was Brock Lesnar v Kofi Kingston, which I've got to say is like one of the... Because I thought this was going to be the main event. This was the one that the whole event was sort of based around. Very random selection of opponent there in Kofi Kingston, but one that I'm not completely adverse to. I think it's kind of cool. I like Kofi Kingston. I think he's great. I love the New Day. New Day Rock.
Yeah.
New Day Rock.
Suck.
No, I don't know.
We're opposed on this.
Well, it's all right.
I think it makes sense now, right? So before, when we spoke about this before the match, I was like, Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
Very random.
Yeah.
But having seen the match, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. So they're like building Brock Lesnar up as the beast. So they needed someone that he could just go in there and annihilate. And that's what happened. And it was cool.
Absolutely. I think it's so important that they used Brock Lesnar in this event to just destroy someone, because we saw him looking vulnerable on Raw a couple of weeks ago, and it was a bit like, oh, we're losing. I know they have to.
Yeah.
You can't, and you need to have the authority gain some sort of momentum as well. Otherwise, Rollins versus Lesnar at Battleground won't seem as special. I get that, but like, I just love seeing Brock Lesnar as this invincible, unconquerable mountain. You know,
he is.
So seeing him vulnerable is a bit like, ah.
I know. Also because he is the only wrestler for me that actually makes me a little bit scared.
He's a scary dude.
So the thing is that all the others, even though it's always great and I always love it, I guess there's always a tiny part of my brain that knows they're a character, you know, like, and it's like, so for example, here's a good... In fact, there's a few. So let's take the smaller guys out of it, because I think that they're never going to be like the kind of guy you bump into and are like really frightened of. But if you bumped into Kane and he was like pissed off,
I bet he's so nice.
I know. Kane. So that's the thing.
I want to hug him.
In the back of my mind, even when Kane comes out and he's like angry and wants to get you, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh. Glenn, right?
Yeah, Glenn.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, Glenn.
Do you reckon Glenn gives good hugs?
Yes, of course he does.
He gives good hugs.
And then Big Show, right?
Yeah.
He comes out, he looks angry, but he's just a big egg.
He's a big egg.
No.
A big
and
shiny
then,
egg.
Who else have we got? Even to some extent, like Mark Henry.
Yeah.
Even him, I just think, oh, you want to grab his beard and all?
You want to hug Rusev.
Rusev? Oh... I'm going to brush
So
his
these
hair.
are big guys that you're saying they're not imposed. Well, they obviously are.
They are. They come out and they do their job really well.
But Brock Lesnar is believable. You believe that he is going to destroy things. And also, he crushed Jamie Noble's ribs on like Raw a couple of weeks ago. Like, he broke 3 of his blimmin' ribs.
I know.
And the way he suplexed, the first German suplex that he gave to Kofi Kingston, I thought Kofi Kingston was dead.
It was kind of crazy.
He bent him in half. It was gorgeous.
It was really nice.
It was brilliant to see. Yeah. So I'm so glad that Brock Lesnar just destroyed Kofi Kingston, and then it was great to see New Day Rocks come into the ring and get destroyed by Brock Lesnar as well. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was nice. And then, just to see him, like the time that they allow for him to just like brood into the camera, you know, with his like scary look.
Domineering.
It's great.
It makes me really want to watch Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. Like, I'm really up for that match.
Which, if we're going to be talk, cool. So this was one of my favourite pay-per-views. Another one of my favourite pay-per-views was when it was the 3-way, him, Rollins and Cena.
Royal Rumble.
It was at Royal Rumble, yeah.
That was amazing.
Oh my God, that was such a good match. That was the match that gave me serious respect for Seth Rollins, because he really went all out on that
So
match.
Cool. Contender for match of the year,
and
I reckon.
Those are, for some reason, I wouldn't have thought that those two would do anything extra special. I think, I always thought it'd be kind of cool, but so I'm really looking forward. That's going to be really
It's just
cool.
being built up perfectly. I'm really, really up for it. Yeah. And I hope we get a good match at Battleground. And this set it up. So Kofi did a good job.
Actually, come to think of it, strange the champ wasn't there.
Well, again, this wasn't a pay-per-view, so it's more like a house show. And I think at a house show, you generally have a few big names scattered around with. So they're only, it's not a proper pay-per-view. So I think you can excuse the champ not being there. That's all right.
I'll forgive him.
Yeah, we can forgive him for not being there. Because I think we had a bigger match, which I think this match should have closed the show. I really do. That I've not got much to complain about for this show, this special event, or whatever you're going to call it. But I think this match should have gone on last, because it was just an absolute barn burner. Kevin Owens against Finn Balor for the NXT Championship.
Yeah.
How good was this?
Which in itself is, I mean, obviously, like, there's been a lot of NXT crossover recently with Kevin Owens. But in itself, the title match for the NXT champ being on a WWE show is kind of interesting, I guess. We didn't actually even talk about that.
No, it's great. It's great to see the NXT title up for grabs on a WWE show. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But what do you think about this match?
Oh, it was so cool.
Fun, right?
Yeah.
The crowd were into it. Kevin Owens and Finn Balor. I thought they started off a little bit shaky, but then they found their rhythm. And you just can't criticize a match like this. It was great. It's just so fun to watch.
Balor in his full kit. And
I love it.
And stuff. It's
what
just
a cool
awesome.
character. So cool. And I love that he's like this like Irish guy. He's like, I'm just getting into your head.
He seems like a nice guy as well.
Yeah, because he comes out looking like the boogeyman, all that stuff, but that's not his character. It's just a bit of a gimmick for him. And it's like, it's so believable. It's tasty. It's delicious.
More believable, though, is how much of a absolute dickhead Kevin Owens is.
I loved when he threw the flowers.
Yes. So, like, basically,
in Paige's house.
In Paige's house. How dare he? She was going to put those...
Paige has got to clean those up.
In a vase. Yeah, so he just does it so well.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the fact that out of character, I wonder if, because obviously when you're in character and you're on the stage and you get handed these flowers, he knows he has to be a dickhead about it and be like, oh, whatever, I don't want your flowers. And throw him out the ring, and it was perfect.
Really cool.
And it just solidified the fact that he was the heel and we were meant to be booing him, and everyone did, and it made the match great. But I just wonder if there's like part of his brain that's like, I feel a little bit bad doing it. Do you know what I mean? Do you reckon he goes backstage and finds the people that gave him the flowers and he goes, oh, actually, thank you so much for having me. It's been really great. I've loved being here.
Absolutely
I really love your country.
No, absolutely. Oh yeah, I love that bit where he was gearing it up to do a cool move, and it's something that he does before, but and then he puts on the headlock instead and looks to the crowd and says, I hate this stupid country and everyone in it.
I know.
I don't care if you're not impressed. I thought that was great. That's like, oh yeah, you got us.
I feel like, actually, like as far as heels go, it takes. There's not been one that direct for a while. Like it kind of takes in a way like a lot of guts to like really directly be like, I don't like any of you. Stuff your flowers. You know,
stuff your flowers.
Do you know what I mean though? Like it's kind of cool. Like he is that character that. Not only does he not like where he is at any point.
He's never happy.
He doesn't like his opponent. He doesn't like the commentators. Yeah, he doesn't like anything.
It was great hearing him on Raw, just doing the commentary. I thought that was absolutely
really good.
That was tasty.
We also need
He's really believable.
A little bit of time talking about his armpits.
Oh yeah, you had a problem watching this match with, I believe, Kevin Owens' personal hygiene.
Oh my goodness, his armpits.
Yeah. There's something not right there. It's like some sort of fungal...
Why are they so yellow?
I thought they were purple.
Oh, they're wrong.
I thought maybe he's doing like, he's trying to outdo Finn Balor's face paint. Maybe he's doing armpit paint or something.
No, they're always like that.
Yeah, they are a bit mouldy.
Yeah, even when...
Mouldy armpits.
I think the problem is that all the other wrestlers have these like perfect... smooth shaved pits.
Yeah, tanned and shaved.
So his are probably like, it's probably a regular pit.
I don't know, I've never seen pits like that before.
No, yours are alright as well.
So there was a tag team back in the day called the Nasty Boys, and they had a move called the pit stop, where they literally ram someone's face into their armpits.
That's awesome, but gross.
And if Kevin Owens did it, it would be a legitimate submission move.
Hell yeah.
I'd tap out to that.
I'd tap out. Yeah. Oh my God.
I bet they stink. And he's got that kind of pubic, wiry beard going on. And he looks
and the belly.
And he's got that tan that only goes halfway up. A bit like mine. You know the tan that only goes halfway up your arm?
Builder's tan.
Yeah. He doesn't look like a proper wrestler.
No, but I think that's why it works, doesn't it? So he's got the kind of CM Punk about him where you feel like he is legitimately just being him. So CM Punk was just always being CM Punk. So when he had a problem with something, you know that he really had a problem with it. Yeah. And he was probably being a bit of an arsehole about it, let's face it.
Sure.
And I feel like that's probably what we get with Owens is that he is the kid that grew up as a bit of a geek, liking wrestling, got into it with his mate, you know, like worked his way up and just has beef with everything.
Yeah.
Got beef.
Yeah.
And it's probably that's
Beefy. He looks beefy.
I know, it's probably what's wrong with his armpits.
Maybe. Too much beef.
Shoved all his beef up there.
Too much beef. I love how agile.
Gravy. That's what they look like.
He sweats gravy. I love how agile he is. For a guy his size, he flips around the ring like a lucha libre.
Yeah, he does well.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he looks very comfortable on the top rope. Some of the moves he busts out every single time he does it. Sometimes I know they're coming. Oh, yeah, that's one criticism that I actually mentioned of the match. If I'm going to be picky, is I'm going to be picky. And I really feel like he gave away the finish.
Oh, yeah.
By saying, like, he was like, you can't beat me now. You can't beat me now. I feel like he was calling the finish to Finn Balor, and then obviously he won straight after that. So I really feel like he gave away the ending because I was like, the finish is coming, and it took away a little bit from it.
Especially as there were a lot of pins up to that point.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I wasn't sure who was going to win. And then when he said that, I was like, I think Finn Balor's going to win. By the way, Finn Balor winning the title, I think is really smart. I think it's good. A good
from
idea.
An NXT point of view, or
from a booking perspective, because now I think we're going to solidify Kevin Owens being in the WWE roster a bit more, and no longer this sort of like invading NXT guy. I think now he's going to be solid on the roster, and also it gives loads of value to the NXT title, and everyone's going to be more interested in Finn Balor. That's my theory. I think that's why this was a good decision.
I think this is a good decision. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of cool to see a heel character who gives it a lot have to swallow his pride a little bit when he comes back. So when he comes back out and does his next promo for Cena, based on getting the
US title.
Yeah. So we know that he's going to have to, obviously he'll act like the big man, but it's nice to give Cena a bit of leverage. It's kind of cool to see that interaction. I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So definitely this builds up to Kevin Owens winning the US title at Battleground.
Do you think he's going to?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Give him the title.
The only reason I'm dubious is because what are they going to do with Cena if he's not got the US title?
Well, maybe this was like Cena's job was to give loads of value to the US title, and then maybe Kevin Owens is going to run with it again, and then maybe we'll see Cena back in the world title picture at some point.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps. And my voice is getting even higher and higher as I go. Speaking of US champions, Cena and Ziggler in the main event against obviously, could see this one coming a mile away, Kane and King Barrett.
Excuse me.
No coughing allowed, please. No, I'm going to start this whole thing again.
I feel like this was potentially a little bit of a case of who can we get to Japan?
No, I don't know. I don't know about that. It just seems a bit random. I absolutely love, I'm a big fan of not King Barrett. I love Bad News Barrett and I love Wade Barrett.
Yeah.
But I don't like this whole King gimmick. But it's so good to see him in a main event.
You know Bad News Barrett though.
No, not really.
A little bit.
Nah, I just like him. He's a British guy. I think he works hard. He looks great. He's in great shape.
He's in great shape, yeah.
He looks better than ever, right?
Yeah.
And it's good to see him back on top. When he was in Nexus and he was main eventing with Cena, that was really cool. And now we've seen him drop and dwindle and dwindle. And even when he won the Intercontinental title, he lost every single match he had for some reason. Now they've given him the King of the Ring, and now he loses every single match. So it's kind of nice to see him in the main event, even though he lost again. And he was tag team with Kane.
Yeah, Kane. What's that all about?
Bit random.
I just preferred him as Bad News Barrett. I loved that whole
That was awesome.
thing.
He was on a really tall podium. He had the hammer.
Yeah, it was awesome.
The best catchphrase.
It's a shame.
So what are they doing? Are they punishing him for being injured?
Don't know. Is this another Cesaro mystery?
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah, I don't know. I just maybe they just get on the wrong side of Vince, and then he's just cool.
Yeah.
Down you go.
Not sure. No idea.
I don't know.
Only they will know why they don't want
to be honest as well, you had to explain to me this whole King of the Ring thing because this was new to me. Because not only was it new to me because I've only kind of been watching wrestling for a couple of years, but it hadn't been there before. So it wasn't like he took the King of the Ring off of someone else. It was no. We'll bring back King of the Ring. Yeah. So I'm not into it. There's literally no value to it.
No, they're not. But they used to be. They used to be. So originally it was its own pay-per-view, and now it's been relegated. Well, it's fallen into obscurity. Hasn't been a King of the Ring for a while. Now it's sort of like a main event random.
It's kind of pointless because it's like, how long's he King of the Ring for?
Until someone else wins the next one. It's sort of like world champion in football.
But
World Cup holders.
But there's no way for anyone to contend it. Is it just when they decide they're going to do another King of the Ring match?
Exactly. So it's like Brazil winning the World Cup. It's like you can't win the title off them.
Right.
But then when there's another World Cup, someone else wins it. It's kind of cool. It's a great idea.
Except he has to wear that silly cape.
He just looks like it looks silly. I loved it when it was Bad News Barrett. That was cool.
Well, maybe when he's not King of the Ring anymore, he'll get to go back to being Bad News Barrett. To be fair, that would be bad news. So
yeah, I guess it would be. But I want him back at the very top. Barrett and Cesaro would be awesome.
I know Cesaro. Oh.
Yeah, we're going to see him as a singles competitor more soon, obviously.
Well,
but I understand why they've got John Cena last because he sells the T-shirts.
Yeah, and to be fair, he got the best reaction of the night.
Yeah, I think him and Jericho,
he did
you'd
well.
probably argue, got the biggest.
And I do find it hard watching him come out to booze. Like, I totally get it. I know, I totally get it.
Him.
No, I don't. He's definitely not.
I love him. He's great.
He's good, but he's not one of my favourites. And I get it. And we've had this conversation before. I personally think it's because his character hasn't evolved enough. So I asked you recently how long John Cena has been this version of John Cena for.
Yeah.
And you said you think about 10 years, right?
Well, I mean, he was a heel, so he used to rap and do some cool.
But what I mean is this character in terms of the clothes and because quite
he's
often
always looked the same. He's always looked the same.
So like the look and stuff that he's got and the rapping and all of that makes sense 10 years ago. I mean, for a start, he was 10 years younger.
Yeah.
And secondly, like that's the kind of era where I think all of that kind of thing was. It was a bit more like credible.
Yeah.
Whereas now he looks like an old man dressed as a young 90s rapper.
He does, doesn't he? He does.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's why, like, he's not credible anymore. He comes out with those bright t-shirts, the cap, the blooming head things around his arm.
The sweatbands.
The trainers.
Like, you're currently wearing 10 sweatbands.
I just mean, like, if I still dressed like I used to dress in the 90s, then I wouldn't be credible either.
Yeah, people would be booing you walking down the street.
People would be booing me.
I like John Cena. I don't know why.
It's the equivalent. He is the equivalent of the Spice Girls of WWE.
Yeah, I know, and I understand why everyone hates him.
He's
I totally
a great wrestler. He's awesome at talking and getting the crowd riled, either be it good or bad, which is predominantly bad these days.
But even that's a good thing.
Well,
and I feel like he was trying to get this Japanese crowd into it.
I'm just saying, like, in terms of like his development, I feel like the reason I'm sad that he gets booed all the time is because I feel like he takes it to heart, and I
don't think he takes it to heart at all. I think he loves the fact that everyone's chanting anything for him.
Maybe
as long as no one's quiet. And I feel like the Japanese
he still
crowd
gets the best reaction.
Did get a little bit quiet in this match actually, even though like it was a big build up, and Cena was acting really well on the side of the ring trying to get Dolph Ziggler to tag him, which I found almost frustrating that Ziggler was getting beaten up on. I was like, come on, just get it over and done with.
Of all the matches, this is the one that I found myself getting, like a bit like...
This was the dullest match on the card. Dullest match on the card, unfortunately.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
So strange that it was the main event.
I mean, Cena's great, Ziggler's great, Barrett's great, Kane, bless him. He's not a great wrestler anymore, is he? But... there was just something about it that, I don't know.
Just not feeling it.
It was just a bit boring.
Yeah, and I think the crowd they just wanted to see John Cena. Probably the first time John Cena's been to Japan. It's the first time that they've done a televised show from Japan anyway. So it just... Actually,
one of the best things about this match for me was the very end where we got to see Cena and Ziggler interact with the crowd.
Yeah, that was really nice. That was fun.
Yeah.
And that's a cool way to end it. I think, but I don't know. I just kind of think it would have been cool if Finn Balor winning the title would have closed the show, but can't really argue about it too much. It was fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I like hearing the crowd chant in a Japanese accent.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Let's go, Cena.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
Good. Yeah, I like it. And they should do more shows in different countries, live shows in different countries.
Don't you think that'd be awesome?
Hell yeah.
Like have one from the Middle East or like really random places like
Australia.
London. Or imagine one from like Russia.
Well, they always have a London show.
Raw is.
Raw, that's true.
So we get plenty. We get enough.
I want London Royal Rumble.
London Royal Rumble would be so fun.
Or London
WrestleMania.
Mania, obviously.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Like John Cena has mentioned that a few times in his promos. Every time he comes to London, he's like, what about WrestleMania in London? And everyone goes like, yeah, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't see it
It's a
happening.
classic face thing to say, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
'Cause it's
yeah, of course,
I'll get
yeah.
you on my side
Yeah,
by
I
saying
know.
what you want to hear. How about I give you all £100?
Yeah. But
Okay.
I don't know the last time a pay-per-view came
We still
from...
hate you because you look like a big baby.
He does look like a big baby. No, a big egg versus the big baby. That'd be a good match. I don't know the last time a pay-per-view came from outside of America, actually. Or outside of America or Canada.
Well,
I've just... I can't think. SummerSlam 92.
Tell us, please, listeners.
Who's listening?
Listener. Lee's mum.
Is she listening? Get out of here, mum. So yeah, I don't want to rate the shows or anything because then it's hard to like look back and go, "Oh, I gave this one," but it was a solid thumbs up. I enjoyed it. I wish it went a little bit longer. I wish the random dark matches had been on the show as well. So I wish we'd got like a New Day tag match maybe, and maybe a Cesaro appearance if he was indeed there. I think that would have been great.
Yeah.
Loved it from the Sumo Hall. Thought the crowd were really hot and into it.
Yeah, really cool. We should finish with like a little in other news kind of thing. So like.
In other news, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, there is a cookie shortage at the cookie factory.
Oh no!
Yes, what will we do about the cookie
What will
party?
Ryback do?
It's his fault.
Is it?
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is that I am so gutted for Tyson Kidd.
Oh man, yeah. I mean,
So gutted. I don't know why. Like they all get injuries and they're all out. Like obviously it was like pretty gutting the whole Daniel Bryan thing and. I don't even know we're not even really being. I don't even feel like we're being updated on Daniel Bryan anymore. I feel like he's just constantly out.
just dead.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's doing Tough Enough, which keeps him on telly.
Yeah,
at
that's
least,
good.
which is cool.
But with the Tyson Kidd thing, I just feel like
That
with
is
him and
just
Cesaro were
sad.
just getting their momentum. It was great. Anyway, so
It's really bad for the tag team division because Tyson and Cesaro was so good together, and they were
we've
really
still
getting some
got the
momentum.
Usos out, right?
The Usos are out as well.
So they're out, and they were obviously like the main taggy.
Yeah, they were always good to
woo-woos.
see. And also, Eric Rowan is out for 6 months. So that
he?
means that
What's wrong with
Rowan
him?
and Harper, he got injured on a house show. He injured his arm. I forget who he was wrestling against. It might have been Cesaro, but I can't remember. Cesaro did it on
he's taking
purpose.
them all
He did it
out.
on purpose. He's taking out all the tag teams.
That's Swiss.
And Ryback's eating all the cookies.
Bugger.
That Swiss swine.
That Swiss
He's
swine.
a Swiss swine.
Thanks.
So yeah, the tag team division looking a bit bare. Luckily, we've got the New Day, who rock. You know, we've got the primetime players.
But I do love the primetime players a
Yeah,
lot.
they're good. They're really cool.
Fun.
They're getting better and better every week.
Yeah,
I just think they got the titles a little bit too early. Well, way too early. I think they should have scrapped their way up the ladder and eventually got it.
Yeah.
But Titus is looking better every week. He's cool, right?
So cool.
Big fan of Titus O'Neil at the moment.
Yeah, I really like him. I feel like he's a cool dude.
Yeah.
Too.
What do you think they should do with the other Uso who isn't injured? I think they should give him a little, singles
What if they
reign.
paired him up with Luke Harper?
That's the worst idea I've ever heard. It's just crazy enough to work. Yeah, why not? Why not have Uso, or why not have Uso and Cesaro? Like, Cesaro's been lumped with some random ones before. When we first saw him with Tyson Kidd, it was like,
That was
what?
so
and then,
random.
And we saw him with Jack Swagger. It was like, what? What's happening? So why not have Cesaro and Uso win the tag titles? And then when Jimmy, or the one who's injured, I don't know who's
Other
injured.
Uso.
Other Uso number 2.
Yeah.
When he comes back, it's like, that could create some tension. Have something interesting with that.
Do we know how long
We don't know
Uso
nothing.
number 1 is out?
18 years.
Oh, wow.
He's out for 18 years.
That is a long
Needs
time.
new legs. Tyson's actually out for a whole year.
I know.
And the stitch, that you saw the picture of the
I
stitch.
didn't see the picture. You told me about
Disgusting.
it. I want to see it.
It's massive metal staples all the way up his neck there. It honestly looks like Frankenstein's monster.
Wowzers.
Yeah, it must be so painful.
Mm.
So that is bad news for Tyson, bad news for Eric Rowan, and obviously bad news for Uso and anyone
wonder
else who
if,
ever gets injured in any walk of life. No matter what job we do, we all
Wonder
want
if
safety.
Wade Barrett is the one to deliver the news. The bad news.
What did Wade Barrett say when he bought some footwear that didn't fit him very well?
I'm afraid I've got some bad shoes.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so Beast in the East. Overall, this was a wicked show, and I really hope WWE Network do some more shows like this. Where it's
And
just
what
like,
is our next pay-per-view, please?
oh, well, we're going to be doing every pay-per-view, if possible.
But I mean, what is the next
Oh, the next pay-per-view is Battleground, which
Great.
is gearing up to be really cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be
so
cool.
we will see you guys when we watch Battleground
Yes.
in a few weeks' time.
I'm hoping that Kevin Owens' armpits will be better by then because I am sending him a wet wipe care package
I think you'd need more than wet wipes. You'd need a drill.
and fire.
Just burn it off. Just burn his armpits into health. Yeah, hopefully
Don't
his armpits will
burn
be
your
sorted out by then.
armpits.
Yeah. So high five on our first podcast.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
Cool. Party slam. Again, this might change because you'll have done this, right?
Party slam. Yeah, and then there'll be loads of noise and fireworks and stuff.
Yeah.
No. All right, we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Bye. How do I stop recording?
Body slam.